you said. And if they were playing against one of them right now, yeah, what Liquid's doing would probably work. But as of so far, it has not. Things might change around, though, as Zig, team captain, will find his first kill, at least in this round, as Corey will be taken down.
I think Corey was caught trying to run out and throw a black eye camera somewhere out here. That would make the most sense anyway, since Zig is still really far outside of the building. And if you were looking at his perspective, he was looking around for black eye cameras there after he got the kill. So it's it's very odd. Oh, nice shot from Sexy Cake.
Good night, Rips.
Tapping away.
Oh, man.
He pulls one right out of the water. Bye-bye to Zig, or excuse me, bye-bye to Rips as he takes him down.
Speaking of which, Husk is going to be laying over here as Ash, the other fragger. And here, honestly, last thing I'm going to touch on with Ash and Nesk, the man is so patient on this character, honestly. Like, this is the one thing I never see out of any other people with Ash. Like, Joystick is extremely aggressive. Nesk is, okay, I play angles, and right when the opportunity presents itself, if the stars align, I can get aggressive and just murder literally everyone.
I mean, just
so,
like,
it's wild.
who sits here for this long?
And he just holds angles, man. It's
not even,
crazy.
he's barely moving.
No,
you can see it.
He's probably not even breathing right now. The man is literally holding his breath. And speaking of holding his breath, he's not holding it anymore as KS will go down to the hands of the R4C. So we'll jump on board with Sexy Cake as Gohan off in the distance. You will hear the F2 pick up a victim as Vale rotates in. And Sexy Cake will end his life as well. Team Liquid seems to be coming back here, playing together, playing for trades, and winning a round. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Also, just playing way faster overall. Yeah. I mean, granted, they got the, I'm going to call it, gift of catching the Valkyrie early on in the round, and I think that spurred them forward even more because they have that free trade they could have taken at any point during the round. They never really actually ended up losing it, as I think all 5 players were still alive at the end of the round. But they could kind of engage without having to worry about losing themselves too much, because even if they did, it would just even the round out at 4-4. So that gave them, I think, a little bit of extra confidence too. Now the question is, how does MOCKIT adjust to this? Does MOCKIT try to get more aggressive, or do they start to pull back and shift away from some of their more aggressive tendencies where they try to abuse the angle holding play that we've been seeing from Liquid up to this point?
Well, I will say one thing, though. If MOCKIT does try to ramp up the aggression, Liquid can always go back to what they were doing originally, and that's exactly what punishes that style of play. That's exactly why Team Liquid is so good in Brazil right now. It's just due to the fact that they play a style of play that counters extremely active teams. And as you guys can see, even down to the Ash player, they set up angles, they hold them, they wait for rotates. That's the name of the game with Liquid, at least in the prior rounds. Now, they are getting more aggressive, they're trusting their fraggers, and it's working out for them. We'll see if they continue down this path of aggression as we are on our last round of the defensive set for MOCKIT and the offensive set for Team Liquid.
It is, however, another round that is going to be at Armory Archives, which again is normally defined as the easiest site for defenders to be able to pick up. So, well, actually, I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but Vale just shot an ADS right in its face and took it out of the round.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was more than likely an accident.
He looked right at it, though.
It's like, oh, Corey, you didn't win that gunfight? Boom, there's your ADS.
There's no way he didn't see that there. So,
is Nesk okay? Buddy, are you all right? You're just chilling there for a second. I guess he was just waiting for some.
I'm still trying to figure out why he just popped open a. I mean, I guess he like asked his teammate. He was like, "Nah, just kill it. Like, I don't need it." It's still weird to happen in a pro game, but we'll move on from that.
Just put a mirror window up. Oh, we don't need it.
I'm just gonna open this real quick.
It's all right.
No big deal, guys.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, Liquid starting things off a little bit more methodic, not an early kill in the first 15 seconds this time around. But Gohan is going to break open that window and set his Twitch drone up on top of it to see if he can find any information for himself. As we do progress through this round, about halfway through, but no real entry. You guys saw Nesk earlier rotate through Passport and pop it up, open a hole in the side of Workshop. But besides that, no real entry just yet.
Nothing too aggressive really at all here going on. The guys on Team Liquid. MOCKIT, in the meanwhile, are sticking relatively close to the site. We've got Paula trying to move in just to move anyone away from that west wall that might be hanging around to try and deny. Again, we do not have any denial ops currently on the defensive side that would be able to stop this. It would just be the smoke that could throw the toxic gas grenades into a hole that has been open.
Oh man.
We do, however, have Corey relatively close to the wall, looking to maybe get a fight at the doorway with a hole that would be popped open.
Getting flashbacks of FaZe on Bank right here as they stack 4 on one side and put somebody on the back end for a late flank. That's going to be Gohan, and Nesk is probably going to be the entry, but 2 down already as Corey's going to go huge with 2 kills. So you guys will hear those Habanas go off, but Vale going to find yet another, and Corey going to take down Zig. It's going to be all left up to Nesk as he will start things off with a kill onto Cryan. Not much else really to find as he will light up Corey just a little bit down here. Excuse me, that is actually going to be Rips downstairs. Corey took a little bit of damage from the prior gunfight. Speaking of Corey, speaking of the devil, he will show up as he does take down Nesk off of a vertical angle here. Seems like just a little bit too much thinking on the side of Liquid, at least. They took a little bit too much thought in that round right there. Just more or less what I'm trying to say is that they just stalled out outside.
That's that same issue that they were having in previous rounds though, where they would run into an aggressive roamer that was holding an angle and trying to stop them. And again, it would be because they were playing so slowly that they would fall to him. But once again, they stall up, they allow for one of the roamers to get aggressive, and this time actually just go for a direct peek against them, as you were seeing Corey being the one to do that against the wall, picking up a massive number of kills throughout the course of that round. And certainly showing us that MOCKIT still has what it takes to knock Liquid down out of these rounds, even when they are primed for an execute. The sides have now switched. However, we've entered the second half, and it's time for MOCKIT to attack. They need 3 more rounds to close out this first map.
Now, Liquid on defense, and that's gonna take up Jaeger, so we're Ash Jaeger maining it today. Which, again, typical, and as we do look over to Gohan, Gohan is going to take the Rook, so Don and ACOG for himself. So far, Paula kind of lagging behind as the rest of the team, as well as MOCKIT, has found themselves and some prime opportunities to catch themselves some kills. But so far, things just really not lighting the fire under Liquid. They are trying at least their best so far as we can see, but right now stalling is a big issue for them. Good news is they're now on the defensive side, so they really don't have to worry about that too much. It's more or less they have to try and come to you. So we'll see if Liquid's playstyle will have any effect on what MOCKIT tries to do.
We have the mute coming in, so a little bit of denial. We're going to be trying to hold these players back. Obviously, Bandit, once again, not going to be making a necessary appearance on this site. Instead, using the mute jammers to try and get the job done. That'll be Sexy Cake playing on the mute for this round, trying to deny that. Slow start, as obviously Rips, you can tell he's watching for a run out just down that hallway to make sure he stays safe. After he confirms there's no one there, he gets a teammate in position to keep an eye on that. Out is going to go the drone, so they can start moving closer towards the site. Cryan is going to have to act as the drone for the drone, since there is a jammer on the inside. He'll have to go in and take care of that first.
Ying getting picked up from MOCKIT, as you guys can see Rips playing that. So we are still going to have Kandala's active. Sexy Cake was donning that mantle for Liquid, but again, we found 2 rounds successfully. As you guys can see, Liquid is still playing just an angles game, really. I mean, everything is set up to try and just combat these long angles. Gohan actually has probably a 50-meter angle all the way over into Archives right now as Rook. They are just trying to defend both sides from absolutely everywhere inside of the site. And so far, MOCKIT really haven't seemed to find an answer to it. There's a lot of Sexy Cake's utility affecting their drone play and information as they try to pop out from underneath with Corey on the Zofia, but really not going to do much as Gohan will find a drone, and finally the wall will get blown open. An ACOG angle has been set up for the shield, so Gohan can play that onto the wall that has exploded, as well as an Evil Eye, so they can see exactly what's going on outside. KS's Dokkaebi call will come into play right now.
You'll note again, Gohan has a jammer directly on top of this position so that he's not going to be affected by those phone calls.
Oh,
Why the phone doesn't ring for him. Great intel picked up by Gohan, an immediate pick. Even better, he's got the diffuser down, so as long as the rest of his teammates are able to hold up that left side, he can just sit here, hold this angle for the rest of the round, and more than likely close it out. That's only the first kill that's going out this round as well, but it's a massive one. 2 more are going to be found, however, by both Zig and Rips as they trade blows against each other. Corey will be lost along the way from MOCKIT, however.
Cryan downstairs, going to try and find the Valkyrie, but no, Paulo will be able to find him with the Deagle. Oh my goodness. KS will be able to refrag. Paulo will go down. That's going to be hacked cams for the last 2 remaining offensive operators, but this is going to sound bad. Might be a good thing that 3 people are dead, because there's a lot of information to be picked up from Paula's cams, as well as those Evil Eyes. Really can't do anything with them except see, so you're not going to be able to laser any teammates or anything like that. But still a lot of information that can definitely be used. And the bad thing about those Evil Eyes is the fact that you really can't do anything about them because they're bulletproof. As Sexy K will have a very long toss, and Rips will get ripped, and Nesk will take down KS. And I love that Nesk is actually rocking the Pentacharm as well, if you saw that.
He's got some respect for sure, but it is once again going to be the guys from, excuse me, it is going to be them that pick up the round, and we'll now be at 4-3. Heading down to Ventilation Workshop Room after our defending team, the guys on Liquid, are able to pick up that round for themselves. A great defense overall put up, and I particularly like what we saw with the combination of the Maestro and Doc play by having the Evil Eye sitting onto the wall and allowing for the Doc to still sit in the corner and play off of them with it in a position to be able to go for those ACOG peaks and take them down on the west balcony. Some really good stuff, and it worked pretty well, to be sure, allowing them to stay pretty much invulnerable, it seemed like, on the inside of that armory site. So they take control of that one. They're one more away from tying it up at 4-4 as well. We're going to head down to Ventilation Workshop for the start of the next round.
I think the biggest thing right now is that Liquid's offensive play style is more of a defensive play style. It works out really well on defense, but I really don't know why they apply it to their offense. Unless you're playing against a team that is just ridiculously aggressive on defense, it's really not going to help you out. But when you're playing defense, those angle holds with those ACOGs and all that utility usage that they set down, they even got Gohan setting up mutes. Or excuse me, last round it was actually Sexy Cake, I do believe, but whoever setting up mutes so that it ignores Dokkaebi calls. Like, there's a massive amount of utility usage in the right way on defense for Liquid. I don't know why they're applying it to their offense, though, at least for that angle holding that they love to do.
Yeah, basically just propping up their Doc to have as much success as possible, and it works out perfectly. So, MOCKIT will have to now come back from that for their own pickup here on Ventilation Workshop. As they'll have to change the attacking routine again. The west entrance, the primary entrance here, it's going to be opened up in just a moment here, so Core can start to look for intel, see if anyone's going to want to take a battle from inside of the server door this early on. It's not looking likely, as everyone else from Team Liquid is actually focusing pretty heavily on the upstairs hold, wanting to keep MOCKIT away from controlling the second floor of this site. That includes, of course, the usual reinforcement on the west armory wall, along with a Paula holding on the inside of it.
So Paula will be able to find the first kill onto Corey. That will be the Ash down. So not much utility wasted, just a very good gun. This armory wall will be opened. Nesk gonna lag behind and see if he can find a kill for himself, but no, he will follow Paula through Fountain. Actually, yeah, they will have a rotate over here. Again, there are just so many levels to Liquid's strats. And I feel like, at least on their offensive sets, that they kind of need to just tone it down a little bit and just play what's in front of them. I think the biggest thing right now is that MOCKIT is really confused on what to do and what way to react to what Liquid is doing on their defensive sets. It's taken them quite a while. We're already halfway through this round, and drones are still being raced around upstairs.
Liquid, in the meanwhile, are just continuing to peel their players back closer and closer to the site, especially on the second floor. Rips patience. It's being a virtue for him as he lines up a headshot against Sig and clicks right on it to take him down and isolate this battle down into a 4 versus 4. Still not moving forward just yet, however, and Paula, in fact, moving back into the inside of Armory to try and isolate out anyone from MOCKIT that might have pushed to the inside.
First logic bomb will go off, and Vale will start the plant. Seems to really not have any effect. Crying gonna take the head off the shoulders of Paula, though, as the plant will go through. Plenty of Kandalas rolled in there, and I'm sure Vale could not possibly see the numbers he was typing into that screen. Sexy Cake will take down Crying, as Vale will go down as well to Gohan with a shotgun. KS will be outside. He's waiting for someone to try and hop out from sandwich window. Diffuser still down. As you guys can see, Gohan through the wall, looking to see exactly what he can find from that vertical angle. Rips seeing if he can find one. KS will take down Sexy Cake. Rips finds one. Gohan, though, with the refrag, is all left up to Rips to try and defend this diffuser. It will not happen for Gohan. MOCKIT finds an offensive round here in round number 8.
Definitely a little bit scrappy, came down to the wider at the end of it, but Rips, with some patient and very stable play, never really lost the message and had control of the post plant the entire time. Nicely done by Rips. racking up another round for MOCKIT and putting them only 2 away from controlling map number 1 of this series. It's going to be the same site once again. Liquid of obviously still having the Armory site locked for themselves, have to play in Event Workshop. Once again, it should be the same lineup coming in from MOCKIT, and probably the same strategy to attempt to take control of it here. Just the quick walk in, the quick plant they got right around the corner. Because of the commitment upstairs from Liquid, they do not have enough manpower to actively defend the vent room, and as such, it made it a lot easier for MOCKIT to push in and plant.
5 rounds already for the side of MOCKIT, and I think the rough thing right now is that this isn't even MOCKIT's map choice. This is Liquid's map choice, which is a very daunting thing to really look at, as Paula is still rounding out the bottom, but he's been more or less playing the support role, so don't knock him too hard, please, guys. As we will round out the top end, being Gohan with 9 and 5. He's been doing quite a good job in his gunfights. Liquid, though, I feel like, once again, they're just overcomplicating things. I think that's their biggest deal right now. They're just need to play more of a team-esque game, try and help each other out on these refrags, because that seems to be the thing that MOCKIT is capitalizing on. Now, that last round really wasn't a falter of that. It was more or less just good utility usage by MOCKIT, as they dedicated a whole crap load of those Kandalas inside of ventilation to get the plant down. We'll see if it happens again, since Rips is going to be bringing the the Ying one more time. Almost said Valkyrie right there because we were on her, but the Ying one more time.
Zig, in the meanwhile, again, still running around, deploying those black eye cameras to act as a defense, early intel that he can use to push aggressively, hopefully catch a couple of the members of MOCKIT off guard here. But for the MOCKIT roster themselves, once again, we're going to take things slow at the start, and will primarily look to take control of the Armory room. They can force Liquid onto the outside, or at very minimum, over towards the archives. That'll open up the easy plant opportunity for them to rush the primary doorway into the vent room and then plant on that.
So far this round, MOCKIT building up ahead of steam, as Crying is checking to see if the C key works, and it indeed does, so that's a good thing.
It's amped up.
Yeah, I never know exactly when you're going to need that in a gunfight. We need a good crouch key, you know.
It's ready to rock.
As he will take a long...
pop that door. Let me in. Let me at him. And he's going to do that in a moment. But as we've seen become very popular over the course of this series, Ryan's going to take a moment to hold the angle, just to make sure no one from Liquid wants to try anything cheeky here either. So he's going to check the mini closet first off too, before he fully commits himself to the inside, where we do have at least one, I believe 2 total players from Liquid holding inside here.
MOCKIT really doesn't seem like they know exactly what they want, at least, is they will motion towards Armory lockers. They do have the wall open. Veil, as well as partnered with KS right now, as they looks to be like they're going to attempt the exact same thing. Phone call, 3 Kandalas down, get the diffuser going as the smoke grenades will start to pop off. No ADS is in there to help, but a Nitro Cell might meet him. Will it? Yes, it will. Gohan going to confirm Veil. It's Paula go down as well, and KS is actually down by that as well. Corey, the only one alive against 4, as he is in the back door. As actually, Zig's trying to answer his phone. Get off that phone, buddy. No texting and driving, as Corey will take you down, and KS will get picked up. Still some utility as well. Still has a logic bomb able to be used. It's Sexy Cake and Paula left alive. Plenty of utility and an Alda left alive in the hands of Liquid. It's a 2v2 here with 30 seconds left.
Paul is going to be the most immediate threat to him, but with the phone still ringing throughout most of that fight, they should be very well aware that he's going to be on top of them here if they try to plant without clearing that out. In the meantime, though, they're actually taking a route all the way through customs to make their way through. They will sound off one of the metal detectors, which is going to give away a little bit of sound intel. And they're actually going to go for a bit of a pinch. Corey almost losing himself there. He has to duck out, but the problem is time is going to be incredibly low. There's the second call. It doesn't matter. Paul is waiting directly on the inside, and as well as a reinforcement here. Corey trying his best to force the issue. Gets the first kill, but doesn't have time for the second, and is going to get clipped up by Sexy Cake. Anyway, Team Liquid pick up another round and inch closer and closer to this comeback that they've been looking for.
This is one of the hardest grindy games I've seen in so long. It just comes down to the wire almost every single time. And especially on that last round right there, I really thought that that was just Liquid just gonna walk away. I was like, okay, going to analytics here. We're gonna be, in between rounds pretty soon. And then, nope, Corey's just gonna walk in, find Zig playing on his phone, and everything's gonna change. Almost. Sexy Cake will be able to clutch up that one as they try to bring this back here on their map, ladies and gentlemen.
So 4-5 scoreline, looking to make it 5-5 now, but at the same time, Liquid have also unlocked the Armory lockers once again, along with the Archive site to play onto, as they will look to hold these one more time and tie things up at 5-5. This will be their best bet yet. They had a very solid hold here on the first round of the half, and looking to control it, push themselves up to a tied scoreline here. Once again, Gohan leading the charge for Liquid, with Corey competing right alongside him. Both players at 10 frags and pretty comparable amongst the rest of the teammates on either team as well. You look at the second, third, fourth, and fifth place position. Very, very even game. This shows you once again how neck and neck this map is right now, with neither team able to get a decisive advantage really in any round for the most part. We had some of the first half that were a little bit one-sided after teams figured each other out, but as you had been mentioning, a lot of down-to-the-wire engagements here for sure.
Hey, it makes it very exciting, and that's fun, because this is actually going to be your and I's last match here at Invite. So we're getting this show, and that's exactly what I wanted, especially for casting the infamous or notorious, whatever word you really want to put there, Nesk, which is always a pleasure to watch. As Cryan will don the Ash, speaking of Nesk. Looks like they are going to start things over on the east side this time around. Specifically, I love how many players have been rocking the Invitational skin while they're here. It's a beautiful thing to see. That skin is amazing. By the way, you guys can get those in those Invitational packs, which is awesome.
He's made Ubisoft very happy.
Yeah, I know. Stuart's gonna like come up and tap me on the back and they're basically like, yes, thank you. They're beautiful skins, man. I love it. I love that they made a Universal Invitational skin. It's an amazing thing.
There's plenty of other operator skins and whatnot too. I think we got a commercial for that we've been running as well, so be sure to check that out in the game. But anyway, moving onwards.
We're sellouts.
A little bit. Okay. Just casually mentioning, you know?
Casual sellouts.
Gonna sneak it in.
Really got you with a sneaky there, didn't we?
So like we said before, guys, it's upstairs here, playing inside of the Armory Archives. Once more, it's a bit of a slow start from MOCKIT as they kind of are just looking for any advantage they can get, but it's Nesk with a double kill coming out of nowhere, I believe from the outside of the window, and it dropped the diffuser. It was a run out from the doorway on the south side that catches two players on the balcony.
I believe Paula actually has a Valkyrie cam out there on the southwest corner of that balcony that Nesk was actually playing off of, which is fantastic play by Liquid here. Starting to really ramp up the aggression. That's what we were hoping for, as a phone call will come through for KS. Again, don't count them out just yet. They've been clutching up quite a few of these rounds as the first logic bomb will go off, but it really doesn't have any effect, and MOCKIT really isn't going to get any more map pressure for it. They are more or less focused over here on the office side, at least Corey is, for the time being.
We're once again trying to spray through the tattered wall here on the inside of office. Hoping to try and find some intel to play off of here. We are going to see the second logic bomb come out here now from the Dokumi, being played by KS. Smoke as well on the inside to try and isolate out the players that are sitting on the inside of Armory. They wait for the full spam to come up, but it's an Aldous, so it's going to take a while, so might as well sit back and relax.
Grab a cup of tea while that gun empties its entire 81-shot mag. But still, MOCKIT really not able to find anything. The second smoke grenade going to go down, and Zig is eventually going to spray into someone's head as Corey will go down. Kandala's coming out now. Rips is going to be the one on the offensive as he will be able to find Sexy Cake. Will not even things out just yet. Still 2 to 5 to be able to do that, but Paula does have a nitro cell, and he's going to be able to get 2 here, ladies and gentlemen. Paula coming up massive to end out this round and tie things up between Team Liquid and MOCKIT here on Border.
Sexy Cake giving him a tap with the horse as well.
I love the horse, man. I love the horse. It's like Norango with the face. Love it, with the different faces and the different trance dances, as Blue called it.
So with Liquid running 2 in a row here, they are going to be able to tie it up at 5 to 5. Continue to run around the sites, and now we're over towards customs inspection and supply. A pause is going to come in from MOCKIT as they're having a really hard time figuring out this attack against Team Liquid. They've had false starts on every round, and while originally they were doing okay to kind of trade their way to a win, now they can't even get things started. They're getting run out on, and on a lot of occasions they're just running out of time, forcing the execute, and even then ending up with these futile pushes, which I think even they know they're going to fail at the end of the day. So they'll use their 60-second pause, get some input from the coach, and hopefully figure out what the issue has been.
Really, the thing for MOCKIT right now is just allowing these early picks to have so much effect. It's operators that are really just used for their site execute so heavily. It's not really their fraggers. Like, you're not seeing a Zofia go down or a Twitch. You're seeing your Thermite or your Ying go down. You're like, oh, okay. Well, what do we do now? And there's not really much you can do. That's really what Liquid's entire design on defense has been. All these angle holds with long sightlines are very hard to combat, especially as you guys saw Zig just not really having a care in the world as he lit up literally everything in existence. Every atom of that side of the map was catching a bullet from the Elda.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You've got a lot of ammo to support yourself there with the 81-shot magazine, in addition to plenty in excess if you need to go for the reload, which he did in that instance, of course, but still. Liquid able to close out on yet another site. The sites, of course, are going to continue to get more difficult as they run around the rotation, which opens up that opportunity for MOCKIT to also push back into the lead once again, as technically they still have control of it. If they can trade out this round and push themselves up to 6, that'll be their last chance. If Liquid win again, they would take it to 6, and their chances to win this map on regulation will be gone. It will only be Liquid that can close it out at that point.
This being 5-5 right now really just sheds some light on really overall what stats mean inside of Rainbow Six Siege. Again, any team can beat any team. It's been said across esports, it's been said across sports. You actually have to play the game to see who wins. It isn't just a stats game, and MOCKIT's really proven that fact right now, which is always a good thing, because I think that people delve a little bit too deep into that. Every single time, it's not a bad thing. It shows how good someone is in history, but today is today. You really have to see exactly what's going to show up. I mean, MOCKIT beat them before. They can quite possibly do it again, as MOCKIT's been pretty good so far, at least. Speaking of MOCKIT, Kryan will kill Gohan. It's going to be a massive pick, since he is the lead fragger right now for Liquid.
Kryan also taking a lot of heat from that, though, so he's going to have to be careful, as there might be a push coming out. We've got a plant already from Vale. KS got another kill as well. They're pushed all the way to the inside of Customs already. 2 more kills coming out from Kryan and KS. Paula on the dock, directly on top of the diffuser, but can't do anything about it from up here. He's got to wrap back down the main stairs. It was a beautiful rush play from MOCKIT. It got their diffuser on the ground, and in addition to that, it got them 4 kills. Everyone on MOCKIT is lit, so Paula does have a chance at this. But it is a low chance with the amount of time he has given these players in post-play. Lines up into your headshot, but no. KS and the CZ75 will close it down, and MOCKIT find another round for their own.
I definitely will agree with you on that one. Every single player on MOCKIT is lit indeed, sir. Lit indeed. Do you want to know what time that diffuser went down? Because I watched it.
Like 2:30?
It went down at 2:15. There was 45 seconds in the game. And they got the bomb down already. You want to talk about aggression? We'll show you aggression, as they literally just walk in and throw the diffuser on the site in a very orderly fashion and a very high speed. I will say the biggest thing right there is everyone taking massive damage across the board for MOCKIT, which just means Team Liquid did not have the best luck in their gunfights. They lost quite a few lives to just some very unorthodox fights there. As Corey will pick up Twitch of the IQ. And so far, very big slugfest between these two teams.
Use as many bombs as they can.
So with us moving ourselves into the next round, MOCKIT for an opportunity to close it down. It's going to have to be on the event and workshop site. That's MOCKIT. Finally found success in their attack with a rush play. It's obviously going to be way more difficult to accomplish the same here, especially with how much their drone intel starts being high. They've already lost 3 out of 5 of their opening drones, so those other 2 are going to have to keep themselves in the mix. Otherwise, drone economy is not going to be that great trying to go into the actual round itself with 3 of them already being hunted out. Looks like they kept the other 2 on the outside, so not too much of an issue to do that, but I highly doubt rush play is going to be as successful. They need to, at very minimum, try to push Liquid try to push Liquid outside of Armory, so they can try to go for that quick planet B that we have seen in the past. But you'll have players like Paula standing ground here to try and stop push from happening inside of the Armory lockers. There we go. We've got the members of MOCKIT out once again. You can already see Kryan. He's joined by 2 others looking for that same doorway that leads into the quick vent plant that we've already seen once from them. MOCKIT's been excellent at executing these very fast-paced strategies when they've been allowed to do so, but at the same time, they've been inconsistent. There's already been multiple rounds where Liquid's been able to deny those very same executes. It means MOCKIT unfortunately can't rely on this tactic for success every single time, and there's still a good chance that we'd end up in overtime.
MOCKIT looking to try and punch their ticket here, at least on board, and that will be massive, ladies and gentlemen, as once again, this is Team Liquid's map. Not really able to find too much success. It is a very tight-knit game right now, though, as MOCKIT is more or less focused on trying to get a little bit of top control, as they do have a soldier down, KS. So he will be picked up. Still has a couple of logic bombs left, and he will have 50 HP in the tank once that is completed, as Vale will be the one to assist him. Main thing right now is Liquid has a very stretched out defense. 3 people up top, 2 people down, and these extremely long angles being played. I'm going to assume that Paula and or Zig are not going to pick this angle anymore, because last time Rips did as his namesake and ripped his head off.
Rips again sitting on the angle and waiting for it, very much channeling his inner Nesker, what we saw in the last half. Once again, he might have a chance for it. Oh, if he had stuck around, there would have been a great opportunity. Candelas are going in, but they have direct presence in the room this time. Look at this go. He's going to rush directly to the inside, but he has caught Paula and Zig, both picking up kills. Zig with another, and it drops the diffuser. Corey so far, the only one's been able to trade. Second player that he's dropped down, it's not a full kill. Commit himself to the outside just to confirm it. Thale goes down, and now it's a 4v1. Sexy Cake finding the most recent kill. KS as well, basically no HP to play off of here. He should have had a free kill, and there we go. Confirms it onto Zig. Now he's left alone. He does have the footsteps above him. Will not be caught off by that western balcony push. Problem for KS here, he's only got 45 seconds left to make a play, and that was their be-all, end-all execute, which was handled brilliantly by Liquid, leaving us in a very likely scenario for overtime now.
Other issue for KS is he has basically negative health right now, and only 1 clip inside of the CZ75 auto, and he no longer will have any health. And ladies and gentlemen, would you have it any other way for the last Brazilian squad? We're going to overtime on map 1 here at Border, as Team Liquid looks to win their map. Well, they will be starting on defense, which they've found quite a bit of success with so far.
Of course, that does mean that MOCKIT are under pressure, given the inconsistent results that we've seen on their attacking side. You need to win at least one of these 2 attacking rounds with the way that the overtime rules play out. And of course, since we have reset to a certain extent, that also means that the site locks have been reset and that Armory Locker's archive is once again available to Team Liquid. We'll go up here. It's actually been a little bit more of a mixed record on this site, if I'm remembering things correctly, so this might be a better chance for the guys on MOCKIT to also make their mark and try to push ahead, given the way that this game has played out so far.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Armory Lockers will be the choice for Liquid's defense in this start of overtime here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are just joining us, Liquid is going to be the last hope for Brazil, as FaZe and Mortals have both met the same fate, now are out of the Invitational. They can no longer advance to the main stage, but Liquid still has a shot here against MOCKIT. Last time MOCKIT and Liquid played against each other, MOCKIT edged it out 2-1. A hell of a match. This seems to be no slouch or no difference from the last time that they met.
Certainly not the case. So we've got a Rook coming back in as the guys on Team Liquid choose not to go for the dock, and most of the time that comes down to a personal preference. Either that, or you could take a guess that Gohan would have wanted to play a pretty aggressive angle, but the fact that he went for a Rook instead of a dock, and it looks like that's the case. As far as I can tell, he was playing right by the doorway a few seconds ago, really wanting to get himself out there and try to take a fight.
And actually a very peculiar thing, the last time these two played Border, which was the last time that they met in Invitational, MOCKIT won 7-2. So I guess that they tried to come back with a couple of adjustments here for the Liquid squad and see if they could take it from them. But so far, it hasn't really worked out for them. If you guys are wondering what happened the last time, it was 7-2 MOCKIT on Border, 7-4 Liquid on Clubhouse, and 8-6 MOCKIT on Oregon, which will be our next map, in fact, after this one finishes up. But we still have quite a ways to go as we just started overtime. We're a minute into round number 13 here. Very sandy location, as CCTV will be the starting take for the boys of MOCKIT. So we'll go for a little bit of vertical pressure trying to see if anybody will rotate through customs.
Already getting control of CCTV this early as well. The guys on Liquid pretty much put no resistance into that one. Fail's going to start to move in and drone the downstairs portion of this map now to allow for hopefully them to carve through and try to knock out any roamers that might be playing on the first floor, looking to knock out MOCKIT on their execute, especially in through that western wall. They've got to be very careful of the run-in. They also already have the thermite charge sitting on the left wall, and it doesn't. There we go. It's to try and knock out the mute jammer. So now they can pop the thermite in. Thank you very much, Mercy, for that. So they're going to be able to push their way forward. Gohan will strike first, though, on that rook. Catches one on the balcony, takes down Rips. This is the problem now with not being up there and having to rotate back around and take out that mute jammer. So they've given up the position they already established, and now that Gohan has this angle with the wall open, they cannot safely rappel up anymore. They'd have to go all the way around to the other side. And even then, they'd have to make their way down the hall where, once more, the rook is waiting. Corey panicking a little bit as he is spotted from the other side. Loses about 25 HP as a result of that.
MOCKIT still going this very loose play style. Speaking of loose, KS's entire head will loosely fall off of his body. Nesk will be able to find him, and Corey going to try and find him with the F2, and he will do so as he will confirm it with a pistol. Corey going to take down Nesk. That has delayed quite a bit of time, so a good rotate by Nesk there as he will be able to find a kill as well as waste some time. Rips is going to be the other fallen soldier for the offense as Ying will be gone, and Sexy Kate going to find Cryan but fall down into the hands of Corey. As Corey will find yet another victim. Zig will see two, and he will take two as Team Liquid regains the lead in overtime.
Liquid are getting incredibly hyped about this now as they knew previous matchup they had lost this matchup. You brought it up. 2-7 was the way that they ended up going down when these guys played it just 2 days ago, and now they've been not only been able to take it to overtime, but have closed out that first defensive round. They've got a chance to end it 8-6 right here on the attack, but it's going to be on that same site. MOCKIT onto the defense for the first time in a while. We'll be defending the same site, Armory Archives.
The offense of Liquid going to allocate for the same ops as the last time, all except for the blitz, but Gohan last time switched off of this. See if he sticks it this time around. So we will already have a 6 pick by the defense. It'll be Bandit to Castle, and we'll have blitz into more than likely a Twitch here. Actually, it's going to be into a Sledge. Flash Twitch goes to the blitz and then actually picks Sledge. We're just going to get some more nades here as we will have 4 since Buck is being played as well by the Brazilian squad. They aim to take down MOCKIT on a map that they priorly lost 7-2 last time these two met. Once again, that's a big thing because right now we're in overtime and Liquid's in the lead. So a big switch up by them. A little bit of education over these last couple days apparently brings them to a much tighter scoreline here.
Setup coming in now, as you can see again, this game has been a bare knuckle brawl, and those stats still looking relatively even amongst the teams as well. We obviously have the clear front runners at the top of the scoreboard, but stats nearly identical in terms of how close those numbers are as you rattle yourself down the list of all 5 players on each team. Here comes the spawn, however, for Team Liquid, potentially their last spawn if they can close out and win on attack, the same exact site that they just defended. Just one more round stands between them and an advantage. 1-0 in the series against MOCKIT, only one more map away. Entering the main event starting just 2 days from now.
Things already starting off a little bit more aggressive for the Brazilian squad on offense as Nesk already is inside of East Stairs. Now, last time around they had a very good take down here. Nesk and Sexy Cake at least did. We're going to see if they can do it again. Did have one round where it did indeed fail, and once again, Nesk playing these extremely long angles. He's going to see if he can click heads, and not really going to work out for him just yet. As Ribs will identify out that there is a very long sightline staring at him all the way from the bottom of East Stairs. That hollow sight stands damn near no chance.
Rips again sitting on the back side of the workshop trying to see if he'll be able to pick anything up with the position he's given himself. And meanwhile, Liquid's still spending a lot of time droning it. You'll note, however, that Liquid has no interest in going for that normal western wall take over towards the armory itself. They're going almost entirely in through the offices and then trying to take control of the B site from that perspective. Paula is going to get some great intel. In fact, I feel like they could walk right up and get the kill onto him right now if they catch him not paying attention. But yeah, they've lost that opportunity. He's no longer on cams. And And as such, we'll be paying attention. Should a push come his way, but no, it's Vale instead that's ready for that push, taking Paula out of the mix.
Liquid looks like they're going to be having the exact same issues that they had on the beginning of their offensive sets, where they just establish these angles and then they just hold them. You can't do that. You're the offensive team. You gotta push. It's literally in the name. You're on offense. That's what you gotta do. And still, Nesk, bottom of East stairs. Gohan really the only one trying to rotate out. They're just waiting for MOCKIT to make an error, guys. You can't do that. Move forward.
Well, we've got Corey, who again has been one of the shining stars so far in this matchup for MOCKIT. Making his push down the main hallway, trying to wrap around, checking out the back stairs, make sure there's no presence. He will take a lot of heat as he moves himself back into the site, however. Tries to get himself into position for the push as he was nearly caught out by another player from Liquid, who, by the way, are slowly running out of time here. Ever since they lost Paula, we haven't seen Liquid really try to make too much of a move here. Rips is going to have the nade set in his direction. He's caught off by Nest. That takes care of him. Gohan also finding another kill on this execute, but now they need to get into the actual site, as that was only the downstairs players that they had cleared out. B is open for the taking, but they do have Crossfire coming in from the other side, and that may be what holds them back. Gohan also cannot push in through the metal detectors as a result of the Toxic that's gone in. Zig is going to be able to go in and get the diffuser onto the ground. Sexy Cake in the meanwhile trying to make an incredibly aggressive push, but will only be caught out by Corey. Takes him down. Vale with the second pickup, and now it's down to only Zig and Gohan. The positions, though, are unknown. One of them sitting literally right on top of the diffuser. Corey trying to lean into the angle to catch Gohan, but he is long gone now, having rotated all the way around to the inside of offices to catch them as they push through the doorway into the archives itself. And of course, Zig still holding on his position, gets 1 and 2, so Team Liquid will take control of map number 1, putting them up and only one more map away from finally seeing a Brazilian team push through into our main event on Friday.
What a comeback for the Brazilian squad here on Border. I was very scared for them there for a second. It just seemed like nobody wanted to move. Everyone was just frozen still. They had Nesk down in square for 2 minutes. He stood in the basement for 2 minutes of square. Did not move. Finally, Liquid activates, and they find a win. So, that's good for the Brazilian squad, but MOCKIT so close, but yet so far away here on map 1.
Oftentimes the name of the game, though, were those slow rounds with a very explosive build-up or very explosive conclusion at the end of them, due to teams just not being able to find those 1 or 2 entries they needed to make progress. Liquid once again have to do a lightning execute at the end of a round to get their diffuser onto the ground and then eventually hold in the 2v2. For the guys on MOCKIT, their aggressive tendencies just not showing up there in that final round, or at least not showing up successfully enough to be able to pick up any kills against Liquid. They locked them into the site, kept them away from being able to close out, and as such, Liquid get the 2-0 closeout in overtime, putting them now only 1 final map away from qualifying.
And we're going back to the sunny state of Oregon. That was sarcasm, by the way. Plenty of rain. As it is most definitely Oregon.
Oh, is it?
Okay. I 100%.
I hope so.
Yes.
It's in our in-game
Oregon. But you guys are now see the replays from this Group C matchup, the final Group C matchup until we get to Friday at least, of the group stage here, as Liquid was able to edge out MOCKIT in overtime. Plenty of really good plays by MOCKIT. Once again, guys, the stat difference between these two teams, not that far off once they play each other. Now, in the regular season, MOCKIT has not been able to find too much success, but honestly, after seeing them here at Invite, I think that they might find some success in EU.
Well, again, that's the big difference, right? Teams can often have drastically different results and even play styles when it comes to their online versus LAN results. And it seems like MOCKIT is finding their strength here on LAN, or at least the ability to fight against Team Liquid, but just not enough strength to be able to close out that matchup. That was a very nice clip, by the way, that we had there from Paolo right there. Beautiful way to end the round with a double C4 kill, as they once again inch closer and closer to closing out that map.
This Brazilian squad has a lot of energy. We haven't seen too many uproars from the side of MOCKIT trying to stay cool, calm, and collected throughout this, but Liquid really letting the emotions fly. It seems to be working for them here as they make a stupendous comeback and are able to win on Border. Now, once again, we will have Oregon up for you guys here in just a little bit, as the players are just taking a little bit of a break, but so far, no lack of action between these two teams.
No, certainly not. And it's going to be very interesting to see how these teams try to evolve their strategies going on to Oregon, given how lurk heavy and lurk dependent and kind of early round focused a lot of these rounds ended up being. So stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 2 between these teams is coming up in just a sec, right here at the 6 Invitational.
It's my whole life.
It's my family, it's my income, it's what I wake up for.
Você aceita casar comigo?
First, I loved her, and I loved the game.
These are the best teams in the world for a reason.
I didn't imagine that I would be here today. It's like we're dreaming.
What trait I'm most proud of about myself, it's knowing what it takes to win.
We need to face the demons in ourselves.
The Danish superstar.
It scares me a little bit. How much can I lose?
He had 11 concussions.
Oh!
Your head right into the boards.
I know that I'm an older player than my colleagues. Sometimes I have to work harder than them.
When I was sad because I couldn't play hockey anymore, this was all that made me happy.
It's easier for you to be a champion than stay on the top. You know, we're the kings. We can say that without sounding too arrogant. Now the pressure's on them. No one respects us.
It's such a great story.
And this time we're gonna win. I'm sure we're gonna win.
We cannot lose.
What a beautiful day for a rematch.
I want to prove we're the best team, period.
Oh my God, they did it! $2 million is at stake.
We have all come down to this.
For the championship!
Oh my God, this is getting close.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the 6 Invitational. We have Team Liquid up against MOCKIT, the last hope for Brazil, battling it out here to stay alive, and they've just won the first map on Border. Now we get ready to move forward. It will be Oregon as our second map, and potentially the one where Liquid can close this series down if MOCKIT do not resurgence very, very quickly at the start of this map.
Now it is going to be Oregon, where MOCKIT actually handled business prior to this. On the first day when they played Liquid, everyone thought that it was going to be a blowout. That was the word around the entire Siege community. Oh, you know, MOCKIT, they haven't been really doing good. Why are they even at Invitationals? All of this stuff. Well, they showed you why they're here. They ended up beating Liquid on Oregon as the overtime map and moving on into the winner's bracket, where they eventually fell to G2 and now are playing Liquid once again.
And again, we saw some very interesting stuff from the guys on MOCKIT. The aggressive roamers that was able to hold an angle in the early game, really abused that very slow and passive play from Liquid. We saw that fade away over time, though, because that first half was so long and drawn out. Liquid had plenty of time to realize that was an issue, counter it with more faster play, and that eventually ended up fading away. But even on the attack, MOCKIT were bringing some very fast-paced executes to the table, in addition to their slower ones. Slower ones, unfortunately, a little bit less successful, but they had good results with their very fast and kind of chaotic takes that they ended up going for there. So I'm going to be interested to see if they're able to try anything like that on Oregon. Will prove a little bit more difficult, though, as Oregon tends to be a more predictable map when it comes to teams' overall strategies. We can see the stats here for our teams with 5 bans on MOCKIT and a 1-1 record, win-loss. Meanwhile, Liquid in a similar footing, however, worse for wear, looking at 1 ban, but a 1-3 record, meaning Liquid is more comfortable to play on this map, but the results haven't been that great, unfortunately.
As we will get things started off here in Oregon, give you guys a good little insight into the map and what bomb sites we have to offer here. And actually, looking at the most non-reliant map, or non-reliant site there for a second, is Kitchen, is actually the most defendable site on this entire map. Stats-wise, ladies and gentlemen, stats-wise, is going to be Tower at 62%. Which is just baffling. It's absolutely baffling.
And we've seen it played more and more here at Invitational, and teams, again, have been having a relatively good amount of success with defending it for the most part here. Very easy to deny the plant, especially if you can only hold 1 or 2 players on the inside. A blitz ban is going to actually come out from MOCKIT here.
Ying going to come out as well. Another stun operator off of the offense, and MOCKIT Esports is going to ban Smoke, which actually is a regular run-of-the-mill thing for them here on Oregon.
Still, though, the first time I think we've seen Smoke banned out in a little while, but it's going to be interesting to see how it is played. I think it's going to be my first time seeing a game with Smoke banned, so
this is MOCKIT's thing. This really is MOCKIT's thing. They ban Smoke on Oregon. That's just something that they do. So, I mean, the main thing is that Team Liquid's starting on defense, so they don't have to worry about it. The big thing is that opens up a lot of doors for what pushes you can really do. There's no more Echo, there's no more smoke. A big operator that's going to be opened up is going to be Finka, because you no longer have to worry about dying almost instantaneously right when you touch a toxic babe.
And of course, overall, you're just going to have a lot more options for late round executes as a result of that, since you don't have the ad infinitum chain of toxic smoke grenades, which can be thrown together once you reach the 30 or 40-second mark in the round. The picks are in. We're going to be starting out in the basement in comparison to the second floor site, the kids' bedroom, that a lot more teams have been favoring as their first site. It's basically pick your poison when it comes to these two. Certain teams prefer turret sites.
Oh, as the horses actually moved a little bit farther down the line for Team Liquid, as it is in front of Zig now. As Liquid will choose the downstairs site as their initial setup. So, yesterday while this match was going on, sadly, Blue and I weren't really able to watch over it as there was quite a few things happening around us. So, this will be the first of us seeing MOCKIT and Liquid here on Oregon. It should be an absolute heater, as I know it was for Decider yesterday.
Now, this is where, because I was able to watch a little bit of this map specifically, this is where we were seeing a problem with Liquid committing to fights a little bit too aggressively, in my own personal opinion, especially when they were on defense. And that's going to be the thing that I'm paying attention to. If we see them pushing forward, taking a lot of unnecessary battles and losing as a result of it, I'm going to start to get worried for their health and safety of closing this out in a 2-0 fashion, as that was very much the key thing that was allowing for MOCKIT to pick up rounds on this map yesterday, was Liquid just giving away kills because they've been playing so aggressively. It's MOCKIT on attack, however. We'll see them already start by popping open the big window in the kids' dorms to check this out and make sure we don't have any roaming presence from Liquid here.
MOCKIT going to start things off on the west side, at least, with one of their entry fraggers. And the likes of Corey. Rip's already downstairs in the kitchen hallway as well. Seems like this take has not taken too much time at all. So we've only been in match for at least 45 seconds here. Paula will be playing Vigil upstairs and will immediately retrofit himself back downstairs, as he will build himself back into the defensive angle setup that they have. And MOCKIT's making quick work of Oregon so far. It seems like they are very well versed in this map, as there's traditionally two ways to take this map in general, ladies and gentlemen. You either start from big tower or you start from small tower. It really just depends on what team you're playing. If you know that team likes to play the attic quite a bit, you might start a big tower, relieve that presence, so you can take over meeting just a little bit easier. Nitrocell going to come out from Gohan. Going to make absolutely zero connection, though.
They'll still be able to sit in the corner. Here's the drone ice, though, so he does have to withdraw the heartbeat sensor. Just to be careful, as he again looks for incoming noise. He's got one on the stairs. Seen up to 3 players so far here. He knows the push is going to be coming soon as a result of that. MOCKIT, however, seemed keen on trying to speed this execute up as quickly as possible. Despite the lack of smoke, with it being banned out, they still want to try to get down here as quickly as possible so as not to lose the time.
Liquid once again playing this angles game. Speaking of angles, Paul is going to push upstairs, catch an angle, and catch Corey as well, as that will be the Ash main gone for MOCKIT. He will immediately rush back down to site. He got what he wanted, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to back up and play his life. Very smart play here by Paula. Is once again Liquid more or less focused on the angle game, as you guys saw. Another body inside of construction, just waiting to see exactly what MOCKIT wants to do here. Again, they do have very, very recent knowledge of what MOCKIT likes to do here, so more than likely going to be a lot of adjustments sent out. As the cardiac sensor will get turned back on, and so will Nask, but traded out immediately by Cryan. Paula with a trade as well.
MOCKIT unfortunately getting wiped off the face of the earth here as they try to get themselves to the inside. Beautiful Nitrocell coming in from Zig, getting everything onto Rips. Oh, and he's not even going to get a chance. Gohan says bye-bye to him, and that is a convincing first round from Liquid. Again, though, already fixing that mistake. Like I said, they played very passive, very held back. They let the guys from MOCKIT make the first move, and fortunately for them, that worked out great as it went right into all their cross angles.
I said it last map, but I feel like it's a big enough deal where I need to repeat it. Their offensive setup of those angle holds is so good on defense. You know what I mean? Like they do such a good job. It's like they've spaced this out to where they do basically the exact same thing on offense and defense. They set up long angles and they just wait for the other team to fall into their trap. Well, so far it's working very well on their defense, especially after they made those minor adjustments last time on border. So far for Oregon, at least, seems to be working out for them, as Paula was actually the one to get aggressive. We haven't seen him find too much success so far, but he will start things off right here on Oregon.
So, we're gonna head right back up to the kids' dorms now for Liquid play into. Once again, look to close out with their passive angle-focused hold. MOCKIT went for a very aggressive start to things, trying to take out the main hatch leading into Laundry, along with pushing themselves down the steps as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, even with smokes that they've had to try and deploy and make that process easier, they still did not try and flush out Liquid's players. As a result of that, as you had mentioned, those aggressive angles and use of their nitrous cells, and eventually once the smoke cleared, their guns just quickly sprayed down. They push from MOCKIT. Failed attack on the basement. See if they fare any better now on the kids' dorms.
Well, the main thing about that basement push is that you want to be able to get there fast enough to be able to bait out as much utility as possible. And that really was the main point of that push from MOCKIT. They already had pre-placed drones. They knew that there really wasn't any roamers, so why not take the map as fast as possible to where you can get on top of the hatch, get that blown open, start playing main stairs, try and bait out all of those toxic babes. Sad thing is they really didn't account for Paula to come up the back stairs and give him a little bit of trouble.
Corey, once again, very aggressive start to this, already making his way into the arsenal before we've even reached past the 2-minute mark. Ready to try and go even further than this. Now someone wants to challenge him, but he does have to be careful of a potential push coming at him from the attic. He starts it strong, though. Finds one down the main hallway as Zig is caught out, repositioning, bringing it down to a 4v5. A good start for MOCKIT. Now they've got to follow it through with the take. They'll pop up in the walk-in by the mini dorms. There goes the nitro cell, but it won't be set off as Sexy Cake is caught mid-throw by KS, giving another opening kill over to MOCKIT.
Not looking too good right now for the Brazilian squad as Nesk has rotated to the top of yellow. Paul is still underneath. He does indeed have a nitro cell. Gohan having one as well, as he will see someone playing main stairs. Will he go for the nitro cell here? They're on drone. He can. Second beep. He's going to see them once again. Just commit the nitro. Gohan, no, he's going to get droned out and found. Oh my goodness, no. It's the exact opposite of what you want to happen right here. You had the information first, Gohan. Come on, man. Come on. But he will try to play out his life downstairs in the basement. Paula rotated over into classroom. And this MOCKIT team now staring down the sights, trying to get this planned out.
Yeah, we did see the plan pop up. So we have the guys from MOCKIT once again trying to get themselves into position. They will use smokes just to be safe about it, however, so that they can fully commit to their push. There we go from Paula, though, on the Mira, actually finding a kill against Rips. And remember, we still have Gohan C4 ready to go, too. He might have been saving his for an attempt to actually try and stop the plant, which is happening now. Inside, we're here. But Paula commits to the push. Nicely found by him. Picks up another kill now. And MOCKIT, already having used a lot of the utility, are going to find themselves in a terrible position in a moment here.
No more smokes on any of the attackers. Some stun grenades, though, on Vale, as he will pop a couple shots from the 5.56, but none of them really going to make any connection. Liquid still playing their name of their game, which is the angle game. They're going to play extremely slowly. Nesk is just waiting for someone to try and get over aggressive and peek into him. As he is pretty dang good fighting off those angles. Paula playing a very tight angle with that hollow sight as well. 19 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to do something. They're going to send Gohan underneath to try and find someone. And actually, Nesk will lose that. Gohan going to get a trade onto Cryan, though. As Paula is the only one left remaining upstairs. Plant going down by Vale. As Paula will find one. That will be the diffuser. As Paula will actually win the second fight as well. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. This Brazilian squad is alight right now here on Oregon as they're looking to take the second map and punch their ticket to the main stage.
Paula with some beautiful aiming being done there towards the end, getting the closeout, and MOCKIT seemingly using all of their utility too early in the round. We've seen plenty of instances throughout the course of Invitational so far where teams had committed their utility to sites far too late or could never get into a position to do so and thusly ran out of time. But now it seems to be we're dealing with a situation where MOCKIT, at least in that last round there, commit themselves to it far too early. End up only alerting Team Liquid of the advanced presence that they have on the site. Makes them hyper aware of the situation. And eventually, with the massive amount of nitro cells that Liquid had to work with throughout the course of that round, and the fact that there was never any alternate push from the guys on MOCKIT, allows for them to pretty easily shut that down, just like we saw on the basement site.
All right, so Paula 6-0 right now through 2 rounds. So an average of 3 kills per round for that man right there. Biggest thing right now, though, is they had to choose between tower or kitchen, and they chose tower. I mean, excuse me, they chose kitchen. how do I mess that up? They chose kitchen. But biggest thing right now is that they do not have a Jaeger. The biggest thing to deal with that is someone is going to have to play showers. And the one thing that gets you punished, that was a very creative cam there, Gohan. I really like that. Gonna use that later in my ranked games. I appreciate you, and so will everybody else. So, but the biggest thing here is going to be showers. How they go around trying to hold that down. It actually appears that they might be trying to just play outright the hallway. There's no castle, there's no Jaeger. They're going to try and hold down the kitchen area. The biggest deal with showers, ladies and gentlemen, is you can actually rotate out up the hallway to those foot-level holes that they make in the wall of the hallway, kitchen/dining area. Usually you can get a kill. Speaking of kills, though, Cryan going to take down Gohan. That means no more Valkyrie and no more Nitro Cell for the remainder of the squad, all except for Sexy Kick.
That's the risk that these Team Liquid players take by playing such an aggressive angle game here, is that they are going to put themselves out in the open early on in the round, and potentially will put themselves at a disadvantage, as we've just seen with MOCKIT picking up that early kill. Small tower is now being taken by the members of MOCKIT in a pretty quick fashion. Paul, however, on the Rook, looking for his opportunity to jump back out and stop this. But he will hear the repels as well. One's going to run right past him. Misses a great opportunity to be able to take out KS. Unfortunately, we'll squander it.
Paul, it might be the saving grace right here if we can keep this hallway shut down, because the default plant site for this place is going to be on the couch behind that wall to his right that he's motioning up towards right now. That's going to be the main thing for this offense. Is actually very, very surprised that we didn't see a Maverick come out here either, just due to the fact that you can burn some holes in that back pantry, but that's another talk for another day. As this offense is trying to find yet another pick, you guys can see how much they've slowed down. MOCKIT's been extremely aggressive, trying to learn from a handful of their mistakes they made early on in this map. They don't want Liquid to get too far ahead just yet, as Cryan will hop on drone to see exactly what he can see after these mutes have been taken away.
You have a bulletproof camera, I've noticed, as well, sitting in the back right corner there, so Paul doesn't necessarily have to go for the peek as we get intel from his teammates. Ori and Rips, however, lining up 2 quick kills, and all of a sudden Liquid fall apart at the seams. MOCKIT forced the issue in these fights. Zig, however, trying to turn it around, and Sexy Cake going for a flank of his own as he wraps back in. He just saw the foot of a player. I don't know if he's realized it. Now he's seen it. Moves in for a pickup against Rips, tries to follow it up with one more. The problem is he's going to be stuck in the small tower until further notice as a result of this. Is left alone here. The plant going down, confirming on the inside of the kitchen. Lead QA spam to try and get him out in the open, but it won't work out. He'll end up just losing more HP. He's going to use the M59 to try to get back onto the hallway, or at least bait that to try to get one of the members of MOCKIT away from him. Somewhat works. A flashbang will only further deter him, as he just can't seem to find the lineup on either of these 2 players. They're not going to be able to take him on in any duel. He'll even go for the reload. He heard some noise out by the bathrooms there, and he knows he's going to push upon it now. Walking right up.
Oh,
what? Veil accidentally takes down Cryan. Now it's 1v1, and Sexy Cake has intel as to where he is, trying to use the shotgun close up throw. Oh my god! He gets it done! Sexy Cake, 2 missed shots, wraps around a team kill in the 2v1, and somehow, some way, Liquid cannot be stopped. The 3rd round is theirs.
How do you one-tap your teammate? I know that people don't like it when we criticize that hard, but oh my god, Veil!
He had to have thought it was him because he heard the sound cue. He would have heard the footsteps coming into that room, and I think he saw his teammate and panicked.
Oh no. That's what I think happened. To lose.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What a massively smart play from Sexy Cake, by the way. Had those 2 final players on MOCKIT join together right on top of the diffuser, nobody's going to win that, right? Makes the noise that he's going to break the wall and go out to the hallway. That splits the 2 remaining players. One is to go in the hallway now to watch for that. The other stays on site to watch for it. As he goes into the bathroom, the problem that occurs, as I just discussed, we see Sexy Cake running down the hallway. That gives a vocal cue, and either some kind of communication slip-up happened, or MOCKIT just make a very grave mistake of thinking that that was their teammate. Or thinking that that was their opponent, excuse me.
As you guys can see right now, tactical timeout for MOCKIT after that absolute blunder on post-plant right there, and some least than happy faces, as you guys can see, sitting in the chairs, and not too much communication except for the coach as well as KS, as they tried to dictate really what happened. And I mean, the biggest thing, and this is the really hard thing. Usually you can dedicate the knock things down to going, okay, we really just didn't, synergize very well as a team there on post plant or something along those lines. It's very hard when it comes down to one player just simply making a small error, or in this case, quite a large one, as he will put one bullet in the head of his teammate, which ends up winning the rest of the round for Sexy Cake. And honest to God, I was hoping that Vale would be able to clutch that up just and go, okay, it was a minor mistake. We still won the round, though. But no, the M590 will find yet another body to put some of his shells into, and that's really going to be the tell the tape on that round.
Vale as well had 2 to 3 warning shots coming out. He knew the push was coming around the corner, had to guess at which direction because I think he was stuck behind the bar, so he couldn't actually tell if he was going left or right. Makes the wrong choices. Caught as Sexy Cake rounds the corner, and it's just that one pump up close that is needed on the M590 to finish things out.
Again, the most damaging shotgun that is regularly used, the M870, the Recruit Rush that everybody loves so much, or Jaeger and Bandit shotgun, is actually the most damaging. It just doesn't have the range due to how short the barrel is. So,
essentially, it's not a sawed-off, but it's essentially a sawed-off equivalent for the most part.
Yeah, basically. It's a tactical sawed-off.
Yeah.
It isn't legitimately cut.
It's basically a really short pump-action shotgun. So obviously, for those of you that know a little bit about gun work, for those of you that don't know about gun physics, meaning that the bullet spray would just go everywhere, so you can really only use it super up close, meaning we don't see a whole lot of play with that weapon.
All right, as these players will begin to discuss things just a little bit longer, as we do have a few technical difficulties over on our end, but we will get those fixed, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, the biggest thing right now is MOCKIT just needs to come together as a team, have a little bit of forgiveness in their heart to Vale, because right now, if they try and have any malice within the team, they're just going to fall apart. That last map was so close, and they're just letting Liquid run away with this right now.
That's 2 rounds, I think, in a row now, nearly, where we've seen Liquid being put into a nearly impossible situation and still come out on top of it. So this has been some amazing stuff from Team Liquid. They've really rallied together, and that's always the dangerous thing with Brazilian teams. You were talking about how this is something with Canadian on EG, but I feel like this is with Brazilian teams in general. When they get fired up, it takes a lot to calm them down. So they're feeling it right now, and that momentum swing is certainly going to help them out here. Whereas we have almost the opposite effect for MOCKIT. It's very solemn at this team's desk currently.
Yeah, and just want to take a moment to remind you guys that this is map number 2 between Liquid and MOCKIT. Liquid winning the first map, 8-6 on Border. That was their map choice. We are now on Oregon. It's currently 3-0 in favor of Liquid, as they are trying to close this one out and be the first and only Brazilian team that can possibly make it to the final stage here at Invite 2019. So far on Oregon, just MOCKIT really not being able to find that same fire that they had last time that they played on this map.
We're going to get a headphone swap, I think, amongst these players.
Hey, sometimes it happens, man. Sometimes it happens. Hey, honestly, the biggest thing for me here, like you said earlier, the Brazilian teams are just absolutely insane when they get anything that goes their way. It really hypes them up. They play a lot better. They can take those aggressive peaks, and they're confident. And I honestly feel like that's due to the Brazilian fans. Shout out to the Brazilian fans out there, ladies and gentlemen. You guys fuel these teams so much, especially, Blue and I were in the lobby earlier watching the FaZe game. I brought this up a little bit earlier in our last match. But all of Brazil, every Brazilian team supports each other. And it's crazy to me because, again, Blue and I are both from NA. And sometimes you have just a little bit of that back and forth when, teams like each other or teams don't. There really isn't that just combined effort and going, as a region, we want to come together and we want to win Invite. And that seems to be the name, or at least the mantra, of Brazil as a whole.
There's definitely a want from the Brazilian fans and the Brazilian players to see their flag up in the big lights. It doesn't even matter,
so cool.
Amongst the players, like, it doesn't even matter if it's their team. They just want it to happen with one of them. That means a lot to them, as far as I've been able to talk to Brazilian players in the past about this. That's why they're so passionate about these things and wanting to push so passionately for these big events, and at the very minimum to make it to the playoff stage where you get your name in the big lights.
Such a cool thing, and we can hear how hype Liquid is over the wall right now. As we're in prep phase right now, ladies and gentlemen, and there is Brazilian yelling coming across the wall as these men are absolutely amped up right now as they are trying to take victory away from MOCKIT and take away their chances of going to the main stage once again. As this time around, it will be Armory Lockers as Liquid has completed their rotation. So we'll see if they can do it all over again. Start off on defense, 6-0.
Here we go now with MOCKIT. They've been very direct with their play in the past rounds, wanting to try and essentially set up the execute as quickly as possible. And again, this is with the smoke being completely banned out, essentially leave them with as much time as humanly possible to complete their execute. But the problem that this has caused is, again, sometimes we've seen, and there's definitely exceptions to this, especially the first round, sometimes they're either not able to get drones into position, or they have to follow up their droning with an execute so quickly that Liquid will change positions and they'll end up walking directly into setups from Liquid because they play such an angle-heavy game on this defense. So obviously, drone intel is very key for MOCKIT to have any success, as if not, the second they go into Liquid's territory, they are going to get headshot popped.
If you can click a link, you can click ahead is kind of the mantra that's been going on for Liquid so far, at least on Oregon. As things have slowed down quite a lot for MOCKIT. They're really not having the same main stairs pressure trying to bait out utility just yet. As yet again, we have a spread defense downstairs for Liquid. Sexy Cake and Nesk on the way at the back stairs, as well as construction. Now the hatch will open up as Gohan tries to find a place for his Nitro Cell, but it's not going to use it just yet.
This was the thing that actually really messed up the guys on MOCKIT in the last round that we played on this solo. How did that not initially kill him?
It was a Viper Strike. It was one of his breaching charges.
Oh, it was the breaching charge. I thought it was a grenade. My bad. So, either way, nicely done by the Ash. A very well-placed breaching charge will bring Gohan out of the game. Rainman will force him out of coverage. He'll have no choice but to go down and out. This is exactly what they need. They've eliminated one of the Nitro Cells, which that needs to be the focus for MOCKIT on this round, is derailing the utility that Liquid were able to use to stop it. It's a very back and forth affair. Corey and Nesk both picking up blows, but Corey down below, able to line up the headshot on Nesk, as he does not reposition quickly enough. Down to only 2 now for Team Liquid. They've done the impossible before. Here comes the first attempt. They get a hard ping onto it. The attempt gets canceled, and better yet, Zig patches one from up on top. The problem is, he overcommits. He pushes in past the smoke, lining up a shot for Chaos. The plant now happening in the corner. Sexy gonna throw in the Nitro Cell, gets him off of it. No kill found, however, he really needed that as well. So we'll leap over the top, try to take direct contestation, just try to make sure he doesn't get clipped off by a player that's up on top. Finds the first over to the shotgun for a second, and KS just barely trades it back. We were down to a 1v1 right there again, as we almost see the impossible done by Liquid once more, but MOCKIT finally secure themselves around after they trade out that kill.
And that was really off of the back of Corey's efforts, as he found 3 that time around. And honestly, I think that Liquid just needs to bring the heat here. I think if you let MOCKIT back into this, you're really not going to like the result of it, as that could be the result being a map number 3. And letting them back into this, not good after going up 3-0, especially after what happened inside of Kitchen. Looks to be like that tack timeout really helped them out, at least.
Well, it's over to the kids' dorms once again as we complete the site rotations. Liquid pulling off all 3 successfully. They're going to choose not to repeat the basement. Not even close that time as we did. Well, it was close at the end of the day to the 1v1. If you exclude that portion of it, the players on MOCKIT still were able to get their job done. Not too much of an issue. Managing the utility from Liquid much, much better on the second time around, compared to the first, where they were basically at the mercy of the 3 Nitro Cells that Liquid carried into that basement site.
Liquid gonna abandon ship early once again, as they have done so far throughout most of their sites. If they don't win it, then they immediately go somewhere else, and they will choose kids' dorms this time around. Last time, pretty crazy clutch happened here. That was honestly off the back of Mira's efforts there, which I believe was Paula. Let's see.
Yes, it was.
Over. Okay, I just wanted to double check, because I know that Liquid does like to swap things up operator-wise quite often. So I assumed, just wanted to make sure.
It's been their consistent Mira, I think, throughout most of this series so far. If there's been a Mira, it's almost always been him. So once again, that'll remain the case, as we do see MOCKIT wasting no time, at least popping open some of these doors. The Ash, played by Corey, already ready to move in. He's being careful to watch out for alternate angles just to make sure he's not going to get picked off on the way up this rappel. It would be easy to do that, but if someone really wanted to go crazy on MOCKIT if someone really wanted to go crazy on Liquid, it would be an option for them. Into the arsenal first. Corey will take control here. And the rest of his team will be joining him soon as they look to move forward. And they'll also be pinching from the small tower, too, to move up the back steps. Potentially just try to force Liquid out of position, or at minimum, put them at a spot where they're not going to be able to hide. ADS is going to have to get burned down here by Corey. And he should be able to be good to move in, knocking out the barbed wire there with his first, I believe one of his first breaching charges.
Long angles once again from Liquid as Corey's going to try and QE and knock down one of those Evil Eyes. As walks into a hail of bullets, but nothing's really going to happen from that. No more breaching charges, no more breaching rounds for him, as he will not be able to take down the Evil Eye any longer. There's no more soft destruction on the offense to take care of it either. So that will stay alive for Zig to use later if needed. You guys can see Nesk all the way over here inside of White Tower as he rotates up the staircase. Seeing if you can find anyone. The window's already been pre-prepped open. Rips is actually the one out over here off the double window. And so far, MOCKIT actually moving pretty slow, which we haven't seen too often. Not even a pick yet, not even a tick of damage on anybody. Well, Gohan has the smallest sliver of health gone. It could be anything less than 5.
So the first time I think we're actually going to end up having to see MOCKIT go for a low time to force execute due to the fact that Liquid have done a great job of hiding themselves here. But once again, they're not going to become prey to that. They are going to start their execute much earlier on. Rips with a good start to it. They're forcing more and more players back further away from this one. This is what I talked about before, the pinch, especially coming in for the big window. Another pickup by Rips. Cryan finds one as well. Everyone from Liquid just forced down the back stairs, the dorm stairs here, and they're getting absolutely nothing done from here as they try to push their way back in. Liquid funnel themselves into a massive choke point, and here comes Corey on the flank to finish things off for MOCKIT as they pick up another round and slowly but surely start to bring themselves back into this map.
I thought that team kill earlier on was going to be a massive shock to the system for MOCKIT, but it appears not. That tactical timeout really helping to calm the nerves here, as they already have stringed together 2 rounds. Liquid, again, needs to bring back just a little bit of that mantra that they had earlier on. Just a little bit of the sauce. Bring back the sauce just a little bit. They're having a lot of spunk earlier on, and nothing really now. It's just kind of fallen flat on all of these rotates that they're trying to commit to on the defense, not finding anything. And MOCKIT really was a little bit pressed for time, which they haven't been so far on Oregon. They've gotten plants down, they've been on site trying to gain site control at around a minute, and this time around below a minute was that execute, and it still worked out for them. This Liquid really not being able to find their footing here on Oregon.
Yeah, overall, the executes for MOCKIT are actually really smart for the most part, especially in that recent. That's probably the most success they've had yet on an actual execute. Because essentially what they do there is, as you can see, they just force Liquid to really have no choice but to fall back down those dorm stairs due to the way that they pinch from the big window. And to a certain extent, I thought they were also going to use the stairs too. That didn't end up coming until very late in the round. So they used the big window and the presence that they already have in the hallway to force the members of Liquid out. And 3 or 4 of them just get funneled into that stairway where obviously MOCKIT's going to win that fight. You can't have more than one Liquid player even peeking out from there. So they're just going to knock them down one by one every single time as they were successfully able to funnel them in. Very well played by the guys on MOCKIT to be able to force Liquid into a box.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
We'll see if Liquid tries to make any adjustments here. Again, last time that they went down here, they've already went down here twice. They've played this kind of extended hold in the basement. Really don't hold too much inside of meeting. More or less just set everybody up at separate angles downstairs, construction, Harry Potter, inside of the closet. Basically anywhere else you could fit a body and try and hold off from the onslaught as MOCKIT. It's worked before, failed the second time, and we'll see if it either hits its mark or falls short once again.
Gohan having a pretty aggressive position on the top, and again, we were talking about the angle game that's often played. Here it tries to go for a Nitro Cell kill, and he almost finds it too. It's a player just to his left up on top there. Unfortunately, it's slightly off the mark, so it'll get wasted. Corey as well, finding success at the start of this round, but Nesk still at the inside of the kid storms on the Jaeger. He's able to trade that right back, taking Corey out and bringing us down to a 4v4. KS is still up here, has his rifle ready to go, and again, they've got the sound intel to confirm that. So he will be on the inside, trying to survive, as it looks like 2 or 3 players from MOCKIT are now going to commit to try to kill him.
Well, good news is no soft destruction on the offense anymore, so he's pretty safe in here except for wall bangs, and Vale's able to spot out where he is. Lots of pre-fires coming out. Phone call still, and Nasuke's going to find yet another one. This might be coming up huge if he can find yet another. Will he? No! He's going to get downed and knifed by KS with steel, as he will hack the cell phones. Be able to see what Zig sees through his evil eyes. Things pretty well even now as we have the last 2 defenders down on site. Sexy Kate going to move a couple of these around as he's going to try and get this signal disruptor down before the thermite starts. Will it go? Don't believe it will. I don't think Vale has clicked it just yet, as he actually appeared to want to rotate around, or at least he just baited with that one. I really don't know what happened there. Actually, he's going to move over. It's going to get signal disrupted, though, as he's kind of between a rock and a hard place. Actually, no. Signal disruptor is not going to work out for Sexy Cake, as it will get opened. So this is going to be an opposite take here, as they're going to blow the front and push the back, but Zig not really ready for it. 49 seconds left on the clock. Sexy Cake going to have to find 3 here, as the smoke grenade will come out. Nitro Cell going to do really nothing except knock Rips down so very low, as he will successfully get the diffuser down. Sexy Cake going to take a lot of damage. Moves in behind the box. Once again, has 3 to find. Stun grenade going to come out. Not going to do too much. So going to try and create an oven at where Sexy Cake is currently located. But none of that going to do any damage. This is a whole lot of utility doing literally nothing.
It's keeping him in the corner, right? It's making him not move. There we go. And he leaps right into it.
Oh, man. Accept your fate inside of my arrows, Rips says, as Maka will find yet another round. It's going to be 3-3 now. As he pops a couple shots in the air, lets him know that MOCKIT is home.
Well, credit where credit is due. That is a very nice rebound by the MOCKIT roster, considering everything that had happened up to that point. But they'd also be in the lead if they didn't throw away that 3rd round with a team kill. 4-2 is where the scoreline would currently be at in their favor. Unfortunately, they have to suffice for a 3-3 because we had that amazing clutch from Sexy Cake back on round 3. However, we've now switched sides. It's past halftime, ladies and gentlemen. And that means that MOCKIT are now going to be on defense. Liquid will take on the attack. Both teams need 4 rounds in order to close out this map. And for Liquid, that would mean series victory and entry into the quarterfinals.
Nothing like 6-picking in the exact same operator that you already had, as Gohan is going to 6-pick from Buck into Buck. So definitely making sure that he can pick that up twice. There's now 2 Bucks on the field. I'm absolutely kidding, by the way. That's not a real mechanic. So bottom of the leaderboard right now is Gohan, which is typically the top fragger, but Nesk and Paula have kind of taken up that mantle from him currently, as Nesk is on his most notorious operator. So we are going to be starting off this next round of Oregon here. And so far, it's kind of just been a one-sided affair from either side. 3 immediate rounds by Liquid, and then 3 unanswered rounds immediately back after that. So tied up as we are. Switching sides, MOCKIT now on defense, and pretty extended hold here, as they will commit a few Miras upstairs, and the other one will be downstairs in the closet. Oh, excuse me, they're actually at the upstairs side. I apologize about that. But they are going to have a hold downstairs in the kitchen, to say the least.
Droning work will be the way that Liquid start things off, as we've kind of come to expect from this series. Nesk is going to get his onto the inside of the... Ooh, get some good intel there, too. I believe that's the Jaeger, yes?
I believe it's actually Rips on the Legion, and it is.
You got it, yeah. A little bit hard to tell from
yeah, a little bit hard to tell with that camo.
Someone with a helmet, that's all I could tell, so. I just didn't see the shorts. That was the key I was missing.
Yeah, you need the cargo shorts, man.
Yeah. I didn't catch the cargo shorts.
The pizza roll cargo shorts with that camo that they have on right now.
So we've got Ness that's going to move over towards Walk-In. Very well aware, of course, as he should have informed the rest of his team of this by now, too. They will have to deal with the Legion on the inside of Attic, which I don't actually know if he's still on. No, he is. Oh, and he predicts it as well. Oh. Just takes a guess at the position of it based on the intel he got from the drone earlier. Knocks Rips out of the game before he has a chance to realize what happened to him.
And once again, Nesk with Ash. He's not that aggressive of a player. He plays very smart with her, always using these breaching rounds to make extended lines of sight so that ACOG can be used to its max effectiveness. And again, that's going to prove to find him a kill. So, I mean, hey, minute and a half though, and there's only been 1 kill going to one side, no damage left on anybody else, as Liquid is trying to find a little bit of information, but KS is going to directly counter that with a couple of those mute drones, or excuse me, a couple of those mute jammers as he has in his kit.
Nesk being a little bit careful. I'm not sure if he got spotted by something or whatnot, but he kind of panic reacted towards that door before it actually went over to the camera afterwards as if it wasn't shot out, so I'm not sure where it came from, but yeah, something happened to him. But crying, almost finding himself a nice easy kill against Liquid, but he misses the opportunity. Only is able to do that little bit of damage against Gohan. The phone call comes in afterwards. That's forced him back. He still holds the tight angle here. He's not going to go for the immediate reset of his phone. He's trying to use the noise to bait in the Buck a little bit, but it won't work out. What is going on today?
Hello?
Stop it!
What is happening?
That was another just direct headshot on a teammate. I think that was just some like mismatched movement that ended up working out really unfortunately.
I mean, I know we said just click heads, but I mean, Corey gets it. You kill the enemy team. Come on, man. Paula gonna find one of his own as well. As Paula's gonna get aggressive, and he's gonna get yet another for his adventure inside of the kids' dorms. 18 seconds left on the clock. Sexy Cake, the one with the drone, as that will start to go down. And Paula's coming up massive right now. That's 3 kills. Cryan not gonna be able to stop the plant though, as that will go down successfully. As Cryan is the last defensive operator here for their first defensive round, as you will see Sexy Cake rotate over to Paula, but again, no more Nitro Cell, as that foam vibration will go through. Won't find any contact with those bullets. About halfway through the diffuser timer now, he will answer the call from Sexy Cake. Begins to rotate over to main stairs.
He's going to go just directly down the hallway here. He's given Team Liquid plenty of time to reposition too. He doesn't even have really a whole lot of time left to try and do anything. He needs to get on the diffuser like now, otherwise he's not even going to have enough time for the defuse, and there we go. Took far too long to rotate back up the steps. It's an easy closeout for Sexy Kick outside of the big dorm window, and with that, Liquid close out yet another round and push ahead over the members of MOCKIT.
Do you think it's going to happen all over again?
What, they pick up 3 and then...
Exactly. That's where I was going.
Very well could.
It very well could. I'm getting that kind of feeling about this matchup.
We're not going to rotate the sites, it seems. We've gotten that far.
Okay.
As we did originally have a vote to go to the basement, but it went contested and then back over to kids. So looks like MOCKIT want to stick with the same site.
I feel like they can win it if Cryan has a little bit more presence downstairs. I feel like he got a little distracted there by Gohan when he was trying to compete with him over in Small Tower. But, I mean, it honestly was just a mischoice on where he was going to put that Nitro Cell at, really. He just chose the wrong person. You had choices, and it really didn't happen, as, you know, they are going to pick up yet another round. And honestly, that entire round for Liquid was off the back of Paula, as Nesk accidentally removed Zig's head for him, so. Which seems to be an ongoing theme here on Oregon. I don't really know.
Got issues, you know?
These offenses.
Drama to sort out.
It's just on the offense, too. That's the thing.
Well, we're into the action once again here. Big emphasis from the guys on MOCKIT towards holding the kitchen. Once again, in addition to their small tower. On the other side here, trying to prevent that control from being gained by Team Liquid. And once again, are going to have to try and stop them. Going for that swarming assault through the halls that we saw in the previous round. It's going to be Nesk. Reloading. Keep our eyes on to start this game off, but as you should expect, it's probably going to be pretty heavy droning, I would imagine, for the first minute or so of this round right now. As Nesk is going to go in through the Master to check things out, but the Mute being here will slow down that process quite a bit, especially with the well-positioned jammers. Unfortunately, Liquid are not going to be able to immediately deal with. Thankfully, they got Gohan on the Twitch. Should be able to knock at least a few of them out.
Biggest thing right now is appears that Rips has learned his lesson about long angles and Nesk, is he will play a lot closer to the chest, or at least closer to the reinforcement, as to not die too early on, because that really opened up this entire side of the map for Liquid the prior round. As Nesk is trying to find yet another kill on very tight ACOG angles, but nothing going to come to fruition just yet. And this seems to be the name of the game for Liquid. They play a very, very long droning game and just try and make things happen around the end of the round. Apparently Big Tower is going to be the play, and Nesk is going to toss a stun grenade in, but is not going to act on it too heavily, as if he does cross that door, he's more than likely going to get shot in the side of the head from the west.
And the droning is still going to be blocked. In fact, his drone is entirely eliminated from the game right there due to the... Oh, and unfortunately, there's an ADS on the other side of that too, which means one of the breaching rounds is going to go completely to waste. Not what you want to have happen here. And again, considering the time is low too, Liquid obviously haven't been moving anywhere close to the pace that we were seeing from MOCKIT on their attacking side. So Liquid's going to find themselves limited here pretty soon if they don't start to make more forward momentum towards the site.
Now, a lot of stalling by Liquid on this map, in particular on offense. Again, that last round was completely the Paula show, and nothing really coming of Liquid this time around. Nesk is going to change over to a different angle, but as we've already seen, MOCKIT is just going to let them come to them. Liquid keeps playing this angle game, and it's just not working out for him. Nesk finally going to get rid of that barbed wire that he's been waiting literally a minute, an entire minute, to get rid of, as Liquid's going to stack up over here on the southeast side of the building. try and make another successful push. As Nesk will get concussed, Apollo will take a little bit less from that as he is going to get aggressive. He will win the fight against Rips. Rips will be the first one killed once again for the second round straight. As you see Gohan over on the west side, north side of the building. As Corey will answer the call of Dokkaebi as he's stacked up with Vale up top. Nitro Cell going to ring off, but nothing really going to come of it. Vale will kill Sexy King. Nesk going to find one of his own. Corey and KS take down 2 as well. KS going to follow it up once again. Paula going to get taken down by Vale, and MOCKIT will deliver a punch straight back to the Brazilian squad.
Guys on MOCKIT making a quick change up to their strategy, and it delays Liquid much more significantly, forcing them into a low time to execute. And Paula, although he does get very close to trying to close out, he was missing about 20 or 30 seconds from the timer that was needed for him to properly play that 1v2. And as such, he's going to find himself knocked out of the round, and we will be tied up once again at 4-4. The series slugs onwards, as neither of these teams can seem to get a massive advantage over the other. Pause coming in here as well. We'll see who it's for in just a moment.
It's going to be from MOCKIT. They're on the screen, I'm going to assume.
It's a...
Oh, wait, they already used theirs
yeah.
earlier, so it should be Liquid.
It looked like it was a really quick tech pause.
Oh, okay. Really quick tech pause.
The admin came over and told the coach to stop talking as well, so...
All right, I got it. It's like, wait a minute. You guys already used your timeout. What is this, blasphemy?
So, yeah, a little bit confused about what happened there. I don't know if they accepted the pause and then realized they already used it, or...
Yeah, I mean...
Might have been another tech pause as well.
We got to figure it out. Hey, guys, it's 4-4. Let's just spam some fours in the chat real quick. That's a Rainbow Six meme. We can say it. It's fine. Okay. Let's get those 4s rolling. Appreciate it. As right now, the 4s really aren't helping out anybody. The 4s apparently be leading to headshots of your own teammates. That's about it. So, but so far, Paula, 11-5. As we expected, he's been really pulling his weight so far for Liquid. And Corey, the fragger from MOCKIT, finding double digits as well, as he will have 10.
But for Team Liquid, inconsistency starts to surface itself immediately in the second rounds. They, as you're mentioning, are not able to rely on Paula's own fragging capability, just that anyway, to be able to take them through a round here. It's going to be found. I was trying to hide inside of the tower there. Nice little spot by Pride to take that out. And here we go. We've got Liquid out on the board once again, approaching very quickly towards the small tower to start their push in towards the basement.
I think this has been the main thing for Liquid, is they just lack map presence. It's been the entire issue with them so far on this attack, and their prior attacks as well, as Nesk will catch a couple bullets from the top of White Stairs, but really, their drone game is okay. It's getting countered a little bit by KS, but they just don't have any other map presence. It's more or less they get control of a room really close to site, and they stand there for the rest of the game, and they go, oh yeah, I forgot. We actually have to get in here and put a diffuser down. And then they throw themselves at it. Either it sticks or it doesn't. And I really want to see them transition away from that, because right now it's not working out for them. MOCKIT is not even trying to give them an inch on site. Playing very safe so far.
Ryan once again being caught up by the drone. Unfortunately, there's not an easy method for him to fall back. He's going to be stuck in here for a moment. And it would be a bit of a shame if he ends up going down this early. He's got 2 Geschmack mines to try and use later on in the round here, so he's definitely going to want to try and look for a way to get out, if at all possible. Meanwhile, for Liquid, they've already got presence established at the back stairs. Also trying to work their way up the main steps here as Paula, along with Nesk. Oh, there we go. There's another kill coming out from the Zofia charges. There's revenge that's claimed, however, at least onto Nesk. But at the same time, Zig also is able to pick up Cryan to trade that back. Liquid still at a full 5 after they get the res off onto Nesk.
Rips with quite a bit of damage done to him is going to get found by the Twitch. They've took every single fragging op almost possible on the offense. We got Zofia, Ash, and Twitch, all amazing guns in their own respect. Rips is going to choose to rotate back downstairs from where he was upstairs inside of Kid's dorms. Doesn't want to try and play it out too much up there, as those goo mines can definitely have quite a bit of effect. KS, though, will be able to find the first kill onto Liquid. It's going to be Paula, the top fragger currently for Liquid, as we are just under a minute. A lot of damage done to everyone except Vale. Vale still does have a Nitro Cell, and I assume KS does as well, so we are going to hear the hatch get opened in the back. As they try to shoot him out, because it is soft, but nothing going to happen from that, as Liquid will begin to start their take on the north side.
Not going to leave themselves a massive amount of time in order to actually get into the sites, however, but the hatches have been open. And The guys on MOCKIT will have to start to look every which way. It's also only a one-man advantage here for Liquid at this point with the issues they struggled in the mid-round. Oh, dropping right onto a goo mine. Nesk's gonna still try to push forward. He will face some trouble on the other side of the shelving unit, but will move in and pick up his first kill regardless against Rips. Needs to take the needle out as it's doing too much damage, and what a cleanup from the guys on Liquid. Sexy Cake and Zig picking up the final 2 kills, and just like that, they control yet another round, this time winning out on the basement.
You know you are comfortable with your team, ladies and gentlemen, when you will literally stop in the middle of an offensive site to take out a needle in your ankle. That is a lot of trust inside of your team from Nesk. As yet another round will be won by them, and we're just going to continue this back and forth absolute brawl that we have going on Oregon right now. Liquid is 1 round away from match point, going to have to find 2 here to try and punch their ticket.
Again, as you can see with the UI in the middle there, that Team Liquid already have the first map in their pocket. If you missed it, because I've seen these rounds drag on, it's been very extended rounds between these two teams, oftentimes playing it down to the timer, especially on that first map. Team Liquid were able to take control of Border, putting them in the 1-0 position they are currently at now. And as you mentioned, only 2 more away in this map, being able to close out and take it. Talked about how it was the polisher before, it still remains the case as he tops the scoreboard amongst all players right now at 12-6. Next highest teammate for him being Nesk. 8-8 exactly. Corey still leads the charge in the meanwhile for MOCKIT at 10-8, with KS shortly behind 9-5.
10 seconds to go.
Well, as we are just about to round out prep phase here, ladies and gentlemen. MOCKIT going for a meeting hold this time around, and they are going to dedicate a couple of reinforcements up here. We'll see if they try to stack any bodies inside, if they are just going to let Liquid try and waste as much time as possible. But it doesn't seem like that is the Liquid that we have anymore here, Blue. It seems like we've really started to amp things up. They've kind of gotten MOCKIT figured out at this point and go, okay, you're just going to let us sit here and hold angles, and that's really about it. We're going to have to try and fall into your pocket, but no, sir, we won't do that. We're going to start to get aggressive. We have one of the best Ash mains in the world. Why wouldn't we? I mean, come on. Come on.
So Nesk will leap right into the showers. Already trying to rely on this droning presence to help him clear things out a little bit more directly. Does see the reinforcement on the wall there. Of course, he's going to start to play this a little bit more carefully as a result of that. It is the same site, by the way, in case you missed that. MOCKIT once again have gone back down to the basement. So Liquid are looking to accomplish very much the same thing that they did in the previous round. Sexy Cake has cleared things out for Nesk on the drone. And this will allow him to continue to push through up to the kitchen, where again, he'll take a hard-held angle here, hoping that the Legion will push him.
Drone's ready.
Nesk will start his own drone game, and once again, he will run into the mutes of KS as he does get shot from sandbags by Rips. And Rips is actually going to maintain his presence as well. They also have a defender upstairs inside of Attic, so kind of an extended hold here by the defense. Only 1:40 off the clock, so Liquid still is in good time. As long as they choose to try and get aggressive at the right time. I do believe that's Jaeger upstairs. Yes, it is indeed Corey, as Corey will find Paula. Paula going to be put on the bench, at least for the rest of this round here.
Corey once again looking for that opportunity to finish off a kill, but it's going to turn into an incredibly long-range fight for him on the carbine without an ACOG. Find himself at a disadvantage there if he's not careful, so he will have to approach it very, very cautiously. Crying, in the meanwhile, picks up the next kill. Rips is a great position here, by the way. Paul was able to get one with a Claymore somewhere around the outside as he takes down Corey, and Nesk actually successfully beats out Rips despite having that great angle to play off of. Brings it down to a 3v3. But it should be noted, the remaining 3 on MOCKIT have been untested up to this point, so they all sit at full HP, where both Nesk and Zig have lost at least a quarter of their health. The Nesk now sits under 25 because of the goo mine he just ran into.
That's where goo mines can be extremely effective, is when you're playing against low health enemies. It can always be a thorn in the side per se, and Nesk will run into one of those. But Zig also not doing the best on health. Lost about 25 HP. As Sexy Cake and the rest of Liquid are trying to figure out exactly what they want to do here. There's only 27 seconds left. He does still have a logic bomb as MOCKIT lies in wait downstairs. Crine is going to be the one you're going to be paying attention to the most, just because that Evo is so good in close range. It seems to be the back take, as everything in the kitchen sink is being dumped by Liquid. Crine going to be the first one to find a kill, as Nesk is going to try and crawl through underneath. Is it going to work out for him? No, it won't. Crine going to put him down. Will he be able to find one other one? No. Sexy Kid going to find that, and KS will be able to end it all for MOCKIT as they find another defensive round. We're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Border again.
And back and forth.
Literally the same way Border played out.
And back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Attackers win the first round, defenders realize their mistakes and correct it and win again on the second round. That has literally been the way that every single round has played out so far. Now, granted, the first half was a little bit different in this map, but the second half of this map is playing out exactly the way that pretty much the entirety of Border played out. Liquid are starting to realize this is going to be too close for comfort. Their coach will make the call to go for a tactical timeout. He's got some input, and we'll have to see if Liquid can correct upon that.
Put your thinking caps on, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going to be looking to see exactly what Liquid is going to switch up on their offense. Now, there is only 3 seconds left in the pick phase, so we can tell you guys our offensive idea so far is going to be Hibana, Zofia, Ashe, Dokkaebi, and Twitch. So a lot of fragging power being brought. Might go for a 6 pick later on, but that's for another time, or at least a little bit at least. As the 30-second timeout will almost be over. A lot of discussion going on between these players trying to figure things out. Gohan especially eccentric right now as he tries to lead the rest of this team to victory. And again, the main player so far on Oregon has been Paula. He's been putting a lot of those frags in his backpack.
Well, there we go. The unpause has come in. Past the 1-minute mark, so the coach will have to flip up his mic one more time. No longer input can be made. We are going back to the Kid Storms, though, as it has been unlocked once again now for the use by the members of MOCKIT to try and push themselves up to 7 and send this over to a map 3. Meanwhile, on Liquid's side of the equation, they are looking for to close out. They are looking for that final definitive round, 2 rounds, I should say, to push them onward to the main event.
Stone cold faces from both sides. It's the Germans versus the Brazilians here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, both of these squads from both of those respective countries. This is just the beauty of Invite once again as we go round and round here on Oregon. And speaking of rounds, we're on round number 11. As you guys can tell from right under the timer, 20 seconds left in prep phase, and it will be the upstairs site once again. Kids, dorms will be the selection. And MOCKIT is a pretty unique setup here, I will say. They actually put up a lot of soft walls for angles and things as such, and they usually have Rips play solo over here inside of Attic, but that's kind of been discovered out by Liquid at this point. He hasn't had too much of an impact yet on any of these rounds, and we'll see if he does anything this time around.
Got the drone. It's going to start to push its way back in through Master first. And this has been the usual approach. Nesk has almost always gone up to Master and at least tried to hold see if he can catch someone in Attic firsthand. Gohan's going to go up to the roof first, and it's going to be Nesk that enters the balcony. She would use to lead himself into Master falling it. Won't be a whole lot to spot on the direct inside of it. He'll quickly pop open the door. He's seen, of course, that Walk-In has itself closed shut. As such, he's going to have to go out into the hallway. Pops open the wall to Master. Of course, confirms that there's no presence from Rips like we had in a previous round. Will now be good to commit himself to the push. Once again, it looks like MOCKIT are going to play this incredibly passively and focused on the first floor, not necessarily trying to play out over here towards the Attic, where unfortunately they lost too many players last time they lost this round.
Rips going to be playing downstairs in Pantry on a rotate between Pantry and Meaty. He is going to try and play his life out a little bit longer. So far, same take by Liquid. Nesk working his way inside of Master as he will burn the initial ADS. Bad thing is, for Liquid, is it seems to be, at least today, their counter is just mute. They really can't do anything when a mute's on the field. They just really can't get any information, and they really don't know what to do without it. So I've honestly been surprised that they haven't tried to make an adjustment over to the Thatcher to try and get rid of those. But, I mean, the biggest thing right now is, at least for the last map, Thatcher was gone. So really couldn't do anything about that one.
Of course, the droning has now come to a complete stall as a result of the mute jammers that are sitting in the hallway. See, Zofia already trying to use 2 of, I believe both of the stun charges got used as well. Into the windows here. In fact, 3 out of 4 of her charges have already been used up. She only has 1 explosive charge remaining, and it's going to use that final one to just pop open the big window in a quick fashion so that he can hopefully capitalize on the surprise try to take down anyone that might still be remaining in the inside of these main dorms. We've got the smokes coming back in. Vale trying his best to line one up on a Nitro Self on the outside of the window, but no! Sexy Cake is going to accidentally knock out Zig. Gohan, in the meanwhile, will catch a trade to take down KS. Paula taking massive damage right now. He'll be eliminated by Corey. Nesk trying to find the trade on the stairs player, but it's too strong of a hold. Vale, Corey, all picking up kills. Sexy Cake looking to turn it back around as this goes into a 2v2. Swift looking to get the res back up onto his team, and he will accomplish it, but Cryan's got a position, and he's going to spam in as the Nitro Cell has already been used in his arsenal here. Rips finds the next pickup, and that leaves Sexy Cake alone in the corner. He'll go for the plant on top of the dresser, dropping back down just to make sure he doesn't get pre-fired from the stairs, and tries to go for a kill, in fact. He's only got 14 seconds left. He's going to be forced into a plant in just a moment. He'll commit to it. The spam, however, could come in from the pulse in just a second. Has to go back one more time. They have a hard ping onto him too, so they have to have a drone down there, but all the time wasted for naught as Cryan is still able to find him on the pulse anyway, stops the final defuse attempt, and gives the round over to MOCKIT. 2 in a row for them, which is going to make this dangerous for Liquid now as we go into what could be the final round, and it will be the final round of regulation.
I think Liquid's lack of roam clear is really coming back to bite them. Once again, they just have sight focus. They have no roam focus, and once again, Pulse will rear his ugly head as he will be able to sweep away the dreams of Liquid, at least for that round, and going to have to force overtime once again to bring it back. They already had their tactical timeout, really didn't seem to help. We'll see if they try and make an adjustment once again. So far, operator lineup is relatively the same, all except for, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, Gohan going to adapt to the Thatcher, recognizing out that Mute is just too powerful for the information game that they are trying to play.
Obviously, though, it's potentially too little too late if it doesn't become as much of an issue on this site. They needed to focus on this specifically for the kids' dorms and the basement pushers. And unfortunately, they've already missed their opportunity there. So now they have to hope it finds just as much effectiveness in amplifying their drone clear here on the tower, which could very well prove to be an even more difficult site to take control of.
You really are going to be wanting to look for the adjustment in Liquid on this site, at least. They haven't played them against this site, at least in this map, as Vale seems to be
stuck in the wall.
Yeah, a little bit of a clip issue is. Oh, actually.
Oh.